I am Dr.K.Neela Pushpam, Assistant Professor of History, SFR College, Sivagasi. Now I am going to talk about social and economic conditions under the Second Pandyan Empire. First we are going to say about in the beginning of 13th century, the Pandyas totally defeated the Chola kingdom. So the Chola kingdom totally destroyed. Next the Pandyas established the Pandyan Empire. So the Pandyan Empire ruled till 1312 AD. So the Pandyas rulers were also known as Second Pandyan Empire. So variety of sources are available. We know about the social and economic conditions under the Second Pandyan Empire. So the variety sources like epigraphic, numismatics or coins, then foreign literary sources. So all the one help us to know about the conditions of Pandya's peoples under the rulers. The Marco Polo visited the Pandyan ruler under the ruler of Maravarman Kulasegaran Pandyan first. Next case was Vellalas. The Vellalar community occupied an important places in the society. They were prominently traders. They were occasionally that Vellalar and Brahmins clashed. There is reference that Vellalar who failed due to their duties to Brahmins were punished by other communities. The Vellalars were called Bhumi Pudarvar and Natumakkal. They also held high position in the government. The organization was called Chitrameli Periyanatar. Next we are going to see about Nagarattar. The Nagarattar community settled in Pandyan country and it's believed in Nagarattar would have migrated from the Chola country. They were also called Natukote Chettiar. They were traders and deeply religious. They allowed a portion of their income for purpose spending money to the religious causes. Next, other community. The other than Brahmins, the Vellalar, the Nagarattas, there were many communities were lived in Pandyan Empire. The Pandyan informed royal messages to the people. Untouchability was found in the society. It was curse to the society. Next we are going to see about position of women. The condition of women cannot be said to have improved. The position was lagging behind. They were not given equal property rights. The celibacy was expected only for women. The celibacy means brahmachari. The women were permitted to receive higher education. Many women were learned scholars. They composed poems. Some have dedicated themselves to the temple and they were called Devaradiyas. Next, marriage. The marriage was considered to be a significant one in the society. During the time of marriage, the bride and the bridegroom went round the fire and put their stuff on ambi. They were customary practice. The marriage were arranged by the parents. Polygamy was founded in the society among the rich. The kings married many women. The Sati system was founded in the society. Next we are going to see about belief and social attitudes of Tamil as observed by Marco Polo. Marco Polo, the prince of medieval travels, spent several months in South India. He says that king of whom the city, that is a Kayal, belonged, possessed was a treasurer and wears upon his person a great store of rich jewels. He maintained a great state and administered his kingdom with a great equality and extend the great favor of merchants and foreigners so that they are very glad to visit his city. He also mentioned the frame of Pandyan country for producing pearls from every time. He gives a subsequently correct account of the fisheries, adding the king derived great revenue from them. He mentioned the practice of sati and refers to the practice of allowing a criminal who was sentenced to death to sacrifice himself to some god or the other of his choice. The rubbing of their houses all over with cow dung has also been mentioned by him. He also says about the people of every single things they do is done with reference to astrology and by the advice of diviners skilled in sorcery. Sorcery means that is a suniam and magic and geomancy and like diabolical art, and some of them also acquainted with astrology. He noticed the widespread use of betel leaves with a camphor and other aromatic spice mixed with the quicklime and called tambulam. Next we are going to see about education and literature. The education instruction were called Kadikam, Vidyazana and Salai. The donations and grant given by the Pandyas showed the patronage of education. The Mutts imparted educations. The Saiva Mutt worked for the growth of education in Madurai, Tirunelveli, Sakkotai and Ariyalur. The Vaishnava Mutt did education service at Alagarkovil and Thirukurangundram. There were libraries in some temples. There seems to be military education. Thus the Pandyas contributed the growth of education by means of patronage. Next, literature. A good number of works came touring the region of Pandyas. Nambi wrote Thiruvilayadal Pranam, Adi Devaram. The post composed Kanyan Pillai Tamil. Some of the great authors were Manava Perumal, Vedanga Deshikar, Manava Mangudigal. The Tamil language flourished during this Pandyas period. The Sanskrit was also patronized by the rulers. Next, economic conditions. The economic condition was improved during the region of Pandyas. The brisk trade during the time was described in the account of Marco Polo. And WhatsApp, that is WhatsApp was a Mohammedan historian. He referring Kayal Pattinam where goods were imported and exported. Next we are going to see about agriculture. Agriculture was given due to importance by the Pandyas. The rivers namely Vaigai and Tamirabarani fertilized in the Pandyan country. So many dry lands were brought into cultivation. Through land tenure, the peasants who had no land of their own cultivated crops. Devanada, that is here, Devadanda lands were belonged to temples. The land tax was major revenue of the country. The government provided irrigation facilities. The tanks and the channels were dug for the promotion of agriculture productions. The important tanks were Vasudeva Grand Canal, Sri Vallabha Canal, next Pragrama Bandian Ground Canal. Next, the Vairam known as Iri Variham, looked after the maintenance of tanks. Next one is here going to see about agriculture. During that period, the cotton cloth of fine equalities were produced in Madurai. Kaiholas engaged in weaving, oil crushing remained hereditary industries. The salt was produced in the coastal areas. Pearl fishing was prominent in Kotkai and Tuticorin. The crops like cotton and sugar were useful for production of cloth and sugar. Sugar was made out a palmer. Other than there were other industries like pottery, carpentry and blacksmith. Next we are going to see about trade. First of all we are going to see about internal trade. The internal trade was flourished in the country. The Vaishyas, the trading community, were keen in the trade. The traders engaged in selling cloth and groceries, salt, oil, crushing and pearls also. There were retail and wholesale merchant also. The cotton dress, silk dress, pepper and spices and pearls were commercial goods during that period. They were a chamber of commerce which protected trade and promoted trade. Next we are going to see about foreign trade. The maritime activities flourished under the Pandyas. They had been trade contact with countries like during this Pandyas period, China, Arabia, Turkey, Persia and Europe. The Arabian horses were imported during that period. A large sum were paid to Arabian traders for the purchase of horses. Koyalpattinam remained an important port in the country. The Pandyan ruler Kulasekara Pandyan sent envoy under the Jamuldin in 1280 with presents to Chinese ruler. The second time was also Pandyan envoy went to China in 1282. Those the presents included the precious pearls, thin cloth and ornaments also. The Chinese ruler was so pleased by this and he also sent his envoy to the Pandyan country. Thus the Pandyas had a good relation with China, having the cultural contact as well as maritime activities. I hope this video is very useful to you. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you.